it's Romy. Welcome to the channel. Taurus, this is your August 2020 tarot card reading. It is a general reading, and if it's resonating for you, please do go ahead, make sure you subscribe, drop me a comment below. You can also join me for the extended version of the reading. The links will be in the description box and in the comment section. And you might also like to check out your rising and your moon sign. So let's go ahead, see what we are picking up for you for August. Okay, let's take a look at the soul story coming through for Leo season Taurus. Now, interestingly, Leo season, this fire energy activates your fourth house, which is this very emotional placement, right? And it's keeping you quite private when everyone else is ready to step out and kind of share their feelings, their ambitions, their goals, their directives with the world. You know, we also have Mars moving direct through Aries, which is activating your 12th house of closure and healing and ending. So there's almost this sense of a little bit more of a measured approach, a little bit more of a subdued, quiet way of kind of feeling into this season that I'm picking up through Taurus. And the reason that I see this being important for you, we open up with the card of Temperance, is because you're really just trying to find a new equilibrium in your life. You know, I think whatever's been taking shape in your world for the last few weeks and months is really driving you to be more flexible and start to look at new ways that you can approach things. And I just think that, you know, you don't want to get it wrong this month, and so there is this need to just kind of really check in with your own energy first and foremost before you kind of join the party. And that might be a little bit conflicting, because I have a sense that there's a lot of people who are going to be really trying to push you, really inviting you to kind of join where they're at, or kind of take part in the planning and the new ideas and the visions and the social stuff that they've got going on, and that there's going to be a part of you that's just wanting to still kind of take time to figure out where you're at and how you feel, and just kind of root and ground yourself. Now, Ten of Pentacles coming in is suggesting that you are finding that emotional balance. You know, you're finding the right adjustment, the right rhythm, the right harmony. And I see you being incredibly protective of that. You know, there's a very sacred quality when we look at this particular Ten of Pentacles, as it reveals what looks like a kind of Stonehenge, that ancient. And of course, like when we're dealing with fourth house energy, it's very much about our ancestral, you know, roots. It's like the energy imprints and the DNA that's been formed over, you know, multiple past lives. And it's just, you know, some of the things I feel that you're dealing with on a wider collective energy base this month, Taurus, is really helping you to tap into that and tune into it. And I think you're aware of these bigger shifts that are coming. The thing is, Mars in Aries is showing us how we use our energy, how we direct our energy. And what I'm picking up from you is that there is such a profound awareness, because remember that 12th house is really connecting you into the divine. It's connecting you into that spiritual revolution that's taking place in your world. And I think you're understanding to an even deeper degree than you ever have before the way in which you need to manage your energy, and what that looks like for mind, body and soul. I think you're aware of the ways in which you have to be more conscious in the connections and the relationships and the family environments in your life. I think you're more aware of how abundance flows to you, and how that's, you know, your money story is wrapped up in that. So I'm just seeing like an incredible divine intelligence, an absolute kind of awakened state that's emerging, and you might not be quite ready to share that, or to kind of walk into the fire, so to speak, for those signs that all of a sudden kind of have something lit and just want everybody to join and have so much to say and to share. I think you do too, and I think you're going to get to that point, perhaps closer as we move in towards Virgo season, where it's activating more of your fifth house. But I see, as you're kind of coming into the beginning of the month, there's a tentative quality, not because you're nervous, but actually because you're very sure. and you're just kind of almost giving yourself permission to sit in that confidence and to sit in that surety before you invite it. You put it out and invite in all of the opinions and all of the kind of different types of energies to wade in and have something to say about what you're thinking or feeling or observing. This is really a time when you're unlearning and, now infusing new stories and patterns into your relationships, into the way that you are wanting to show up. And Seven of Cups is demonstrating that there are choices here. And perhaps, there's still a little bit of a sense of overwhelm, or just like needing some space to kind of figure that out. I think that there is a temptation, and perhaps I feel maybe coming towards you, or someone wants you to kind of step into the fantasy and the let's have fun, just like let rip, let's let go. The energy is lighter, it's less heavy and dense than it's been feeling through Cancer season with all those eclipses. And yet for you, Taurus, working with that 4th house, 12th house, there's still, like we said, this kind of depth and this deepness, and you're just like, yeah, I'll be there. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I'll be there, but I just need a minute. I just need a minute to make sense of this so that I'm absolutely crystal clear about where I'm being directed and what it is that I want. Because here's the thing, when Taurus makes up its mind, then it's for, it's the long term here, right? So we're trying to just make sure that the choices and decisions that you make this month are really for your highest good. And I think that you are actively wanting to step into all of the beautiful creative energy that's going to be available to all of us in Leo season. Mars in Aries, Leo, Sun, it's so incredibly positive for helping us to tap into that inner muse, to go visualize and imagine what our life could look like, to tap into that heart energy. And with your 7 of Cups here, again, like that ruler of Neptune, you are needing time and space to just figure that out and to kind of play with the possibility of it all. That's really, really important. I think what you're understanding, perhaps to a deeper degree than many of the other signs at the moment, Taurus, is the way in which changing yourself is really going to help to change the collective and what's going on in the world at large. And I think that you are taking a sense of responsibility and duty to that, because you want to impact your relationships positively and favorably. You want to be your best self. You want to bring all of that good energy to the table. You're ready and willing to do that. And in a way that, is very tangible and very real life, But in order for that to happen, there is this angelic, divine quality of needing to tap into those energies that are available to you so that you're really synced up, If you are coming up against a situation where there is some uncertainty or confusion, or you feel like you want to break free from something, and here's the thing, right? We have the Aquarius full moon coming in on the 3rd and 4th of August. It's squaring Uranus, so very rebellious, very revolutionary energy, and it's going to want to drive you forward in some area, and it's going to bring about that energy of wanting to be impulsive. There's an urgency, there's a need to be innovative, to be different, to show yourself and others that there's a different way, a new way, a better way. Now it's activating into your 10th house of career, of purpose, of the way you want to show up in the world, the legacy that you want to leave. And again, I think you want to get that right, but there's absolutely change that's afoot here with the Knight of Wands coming in. Now, this could be a very passionate, fiery sign who's showing up, a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or just someone who's taking on or embodying those qualities. If this is you, I think that you're still going to temper your response a little bit, Taurus, not because, you're trying to dampen the party, far from it. I just think that you are very aware there's work to do, and there's things that need to get done in this window of opportunity as Mars is direct before it goes retrograde. And you're going to take full advantage of that. The other thing that's happening is that Uranus is moving retrograde in your sign on the 15th. So for the next 6 months, you are integrating the enormity of the spiritual revolution that is taking place, within your energy. Now, for me, this suggests that there's movement, particularly in and around location. And because we're activating fourth house of home, some of you might really be aware of where you're looking at new premises, or you're looking at making changes in and around the home, or looking at new properties or second homes. I also feel like there's some positive initiation or launch of something. So I think from a material career perspective, because we're looking at that 10th house, if you have something that you want to get out there into the world, it's going to do very well for you if you approach it with the right balance of both passion, motivation, but also that kind of temperance, that sort of measuredness of saying, do you know what, this is the beginning. I'm not going to set like wildly unrealistic expectations of myself. And the reason I say that is because then when Mars moves retrograde, there's going to be a little bit of a dampening of that, the motivating initiatory energy that it delivers. And so you don't want to end up like over promising at this moment in time. Rather just like get it right and do it logically one step and just keep reviewing, because there's something about a continuous kind of adjustment as you are putting something out there that's going to really work favorably both for you and the people that you're trying to connect with. I think that's also said to be true for the relationships in your life as well, particularly if there's a strong focus on what's going on within the family. It's like, yes, have a clear vision of where you want to get to, but allow for these constant redirects, allow for the fact that there's a lot of volatile, hot-headed, frustrated, agitated energy that's kicking off this season, and that people are going to be not necessarily always showing up as their best selves because they're going to be impatient for change. So you're coming in with much more of a divine sense of understanding about the correct order in the way that things need to flow. And so I do see that you are kind of almost taking a higher position here. When we look at the Knight of Wands, and your staff is completely connected into the divine. So you're receiving guidance straight from source. And what it's helping you to do is to then kind of create the right environment with which everybody can clearly be heard and seen, but you're not absorbing or taking on too much of that sort of crazy, very fiery, wild kind of energy, and letting it affect you. Because if you do, there would be a tendency to kind of go into that real sense of overwhelm, or just not being clear at all in your thinking, or overly influenced by what other people have to say about a particular subject or topic. So what I'm seeing with this is that there is a time for you to really and underpin like a powerful foundation that's going to be important not just for you but for the people around you. And for those of you that are not close with immediate blood family, this is going to, echo out into that soul family, the people that you connect with on a friendship level, or that really mean something to you, even if it's those that you work with in terms of clients that are, close knit. So you're holding space and you're doing it well. That 10 of Pentacles is giving a nice anchored, rooted energy that I think is going to be important as long as you stay connected, and understand that you're just going to have to keep working with the energy and making constant adjustments. Now, there are some beautiful blessings that are going to come through and permeate this season. Mercury moves into Leo on the 5th. We've got that new moon in Leo on the 19th. There's trine between Mercury and Jupiter later in the month, and it's delivering good news. It's delivering material gain, and it's helping something to get moving that may have felt stuck or stagnant, or have been, in some ways held back through that last few weeks with all of the retrograde energy of Mercury and Venus. And so the 8 of Wands comes in and wants to kind of take charge, and really kind of, it's almost like you're going to take something and run with it. But when I say run, it's just still feels like more of a gentle jog. I've not kind of got you sprinting off in the direction wildly, even though someone, I feel, or representative of some kind of energy is going to want you to move faster, right? So I think there's that urgency that's going to feel like it's on your tail a little bit. But I still see you kind of like holding the line and just saying, look, we are moving forward, but it still has to be in this manner. It has to be in a natural kind of progressive way that makes sense. And I do think that's the right approach. I think you're going to have that outlook, and it's going to serve you really well. You are being asked to be flexible, however, and I think that, you know, where you try to suppress, or even if you feel overly suppressed in some situation or another this month, Taurus, there's going to be that tendency for people to lose interest or for you to lose interest. Now, the Four of Cups is suggesting, again, that stillness energy that's coming through that I think is going to be really helpful for you to make sense and tune in, right? And you can see actually that the tuning in is directly beneath these Seven of Cups. So you're really considering all of the choices, all of the variants, all of the possible agendas that have been presented to you and figuring out what's best for you and taking some time out to do that. However, if we sit for too long and we don't seize the day, we don't seize the opportunity, like I said, people, because they're in that really impatient energy, you might find that they're kind of moving away or trying to look at other options or other possibilities. Now, there's no missing out here, and actually in some regards I would almost take the perspective of said anything that, you know, moves out through this month isn't going to serve you anyway, and it wouldn't have been the right energy fit. You know, this is all about you coming to a point of finding someone where you are really in synergy with, whether that's relationships or things that you're doing, you know, within your work, or even, you know, in the homely or fam environment where you're just trying to find some peace and some balance. But, you know, even with these Knight of Wands, the two figures here are kind of looking in opposite directions, you know. The important thing is that you shouldn't feel in any way, one, that you're being left behind. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think you feel too secure in who you are and what you know is your truth right now. And secondly, that you are able to get to the stage where you're like, you know what, I can fulfill my own needs in ways that are going to be supportive for my growth, without needing the validation or needing everybody to be on board with my ideas. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm good with who I am and how I'm showing up right now. And it's almost this way of like being able to express that love, right? And I don't just mean romantically, but just generally to any connection. Express that love because you understand and accept people for who they are, not because you need something or want something from them. Okay? And I think that that kind of thoughtfulness and that conscious awakened energy that you're delivering to situations is really going to help you sort of move to the next level and start to see more opportunities showing up for you. Three of Pentacles, creative, generative frequencies that are absolutely going to help you to launch, to get something going, to see where the support is available to you. And that's the thing. I think that having this approach that's a little bit more tempered than others is almost going to help you to realize and see things that people are just too blind because they're so busy focused on the next thing, or trying to get everything done all at once. And here's you kind of like hanging back just slightly and saying, actually, like, here's the gap. Here's where I see the opportunity, or here's the connections that are really going to be positive for me in this moment. I think there is support available to you, and there are people who are seeking you right now that want to work with you, that are going to be able to deliver the resources and the ideas and come together in a way that feels incredibly collaborative, and really kind of help you to find the best within yourself, you know, to tap into that beautiful potential. Your Five of Swords energy here, this kind of almost grayness that's coming up with this particular vision, for me represents, I think, the fallout of where you can or you won't get on board with someone else's agenda or someone else's way of doing things, you know. But I also think it's representative of the ways in which sometimes you can sabotage yourself because you maybe find it harder to express or say what you really feel or what's really going on for you. And so in all instances, it has something really important to share with you through this season, because I think it's about, you know, how you move past it, how you move beyond it. And that rather than sitting in this space and kind of looking where there's no vitality left here, there's no life force here, you know, there's no vibrancy, there's nothing with which to transmute or to work with, you know. It's an indication of where you've been, Taurus, not where you're going. And it's only being illuminated right now because I think you're starting to feel more secure. But if you come up against those moments of self-doubt, or you feel disappointed over someone else, or someone else feels that way about you, and you're trying to manage expectations left, right, and center, particularly if you're looking at it towards what you've achieved in the timescales, or where you're looking for the realization of something to come back in. You know, I just think that this is an indicator of what's been. And so it's just showing you, it's giving you a frame of reference. It's saying, okay, you know, we don't need to water things down. This is now a time to refocus on the thought forms that are much more positive and progressive for us in this moment. You know, Leo season is instinctive. It's all connected to our solar plexus. It's our energy center of intuitive knowing, you know, of empowerment, of how we step up and, you know, reveal all of that heart and that passion and what we do with it. And I think you have so much of that, it's spilling over. And so yes, we can have a measured approach, but not to the degree that you're kind of hiding it away or sort of trying to shroud it. Perhaps because you're maybe in some instances trying to be a bit protective of yourself for where you may have been burned in the past. That would be totally understandable. But, you know, the thing with the Eight of Wands energy is it's already in motion. It's already in flux. And so, you know, you want to keep going and stay in the rhythm of things and not kind of fighting against it. So just be aware, because I think, you know, both with that heavy earth energy of the 10, which can be really rooted and secure, but then your 5 of Swords at the bottom again here, it can almost stunt the kind of energy flow of that Eight of Wands. So it's just something you're going to have to be tuned into. And I don't see that you will not allow yourself to move forward, because actually there's this beautiful sense of flow that comes in with Temperance, and you feel too guided right now. So here we have the card of the Moon, again just linking in powerfully to that 4th house energy that you're working in Leo season. It's a very mothering, nurturing energy, you know, but it's also illuminating those aspects of the self that we need to be aware of, that perhaps are where we're kind of tripping ourselves up. I think it's helping you to link in though. I mean, such a beautiful spiritual line here from the way that you are connecting in, you know, to that very Piscean, Neptunian energy and what you're doing with it. And we can see in the center, you know, all these 3 kind of blossoming roses that are coming through, the constant evolving, unfolding rose, just showing that there's more and more layers, the depth to which you are getting to know yourself and others and life and your spiritual journey right now is really beautiful, you know, and there's something deeply connected about the way that you're feeling and how you're moving through this month, and then the reflection of then the choices and decisions that you're making as a result of that. You know, you're working with the energy, you know, you are tapping into all of the archetypes and the guides that are supporting you to deliver an outcome that you know is going to give you some kind of future pathway to become more. And that's the thing, that's what you've been working with this Uranus in your sign, you know. And it is about finding a better way, a different way to do that. Now, perhaps there might be some confusion or uncertainty that is surfacing, because I'm picking up with both the 7 and the Moon, it's just a little bit hazy at times. I don't need you to feel fearful of that, because I think it's almost like if details are skewed or something is just not quite what it seems, it's meant to show up that way this month, right? There's an absolute reason for it. And I think that's going to become really clear the closer you get toward the end of the month and the more that you move into the next few weeks, Taurus. So if something is not really kind of showing itself properly to you, again, I think that's why you're going to have this slightly measured approach where you're just waiting to see, where's that going to go? How is it going to work out? How is it going to unfold? You know, almost just kind of making sure that you're flexible enough to change direction if you need to. you know, to make an adjustment, temperance, when that's important to do so. So let's just take a look and see how these oracle cards are reflecting your main reading. There's a couple of dates we just need to be aware of this month. On the 13th, Mars is squaring Pluto, and the 24th, Mars squares Saturn. So they're, you know, very provocative energies that are coming up. You know, and where things have been suppressed, they will come to light during this period. And it's almost like you just need to be aware that people are not necessarily going to be delivering their best selves on those days, you know. So if you can take a wide energy berth, you may well need to do that. You have this beautiful animal spirit of the owl showing up. You can see clearly now. Absolutely awake. Absolutely awake. Looking toward the light. Looking toward the future and knowing. So even if there are things that are being skewed in the kind of more immediate external physical environment, where you'll get the answers, Four of Cups, in a meditative state, is through spirit, and that's where absolutely you'll receive the clarity that you need. You'll receive the clarity that you need. And I invite you to kind of use this owl energy as well to be the gatekeeper of that wisdom that needs to come forth when you find your thought forms like running off in a direction that isn't favorable. You know, when somebody does or says something and then all of a sudden we go into a complete storyline of what we think it means, what they're going to do next, how it's going to play out, why they did that, how they did it. Who else is involved, who might be involved. It's like none of that's really serving you right now, you know. Fourth house is about what's going on within your energy field, and your owl spirit is just coming forth to say, look, you can see clearly to all of the details that are important in this exact moment. Anything you're not seeing doesn't matter right now. It's not relevant at this exact time. So don't drain and waste your energy looking towards it. Okay, the card is Strength coming through. And we can see how she's just trying to balance like so many things right now. But she's still managing it, you know. So she's keeping the world kind of in her hand, but still almost manifesting and looking what she's bringing in to the future. I like this because I think that you are poised and ready to be able to manage your resources incredibly effectively, to manage your relationships, both the relationship with yourself and others this month. I think you will be diplomatic where you need to be, and that fire energy you will use wisely because you will understand that there's bigger things that matter right now. You know, there's a bigger agenda at play. There's more that's in a state of transforming, in a state of flux. So you're not going to get kind of caught up in petty drama or conflict. It's just not going to be your bag this month at all. But where you need it, the strength, the agility, the flexibility is going to come through to support you. You know, and a lot of fours coming up here, which is bringing in that sense of balance, but also reminding you it's really important to see where you're investing your energy at the moment, and just making sure that it's giving you a return in the ways that you are, you know, really looking to make changes in your life. Yeah. So your astrology card is Void of the Course Moon, missing. For me, this is almost like the missing details, something yet to be revealed. You know, the moon is just kind of hiding something right now. Seven of Cups is just, you know, not fully showing us all of the choices. Okay, when that lands, that missing detail, that missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle, I think you are going to go forward with a boom. It's going to be a big leap. It's going to be a big transition. A big shift is about to happen. I think you're going to be feeling into that because the energy is already in flow. It's already started. It's already in motion. Knight of Wands, it's kind of the harbor of change, you know, and this is positive, it's uplifting, it's meant to deliver something that is going to be wholly transformative in your life experience. So it will have an impact on the physical environment around you. It will change something, perhaps irrevocably. But right now, all of those details haven't finally kind of be put into place. So you take the time that you need and you hold back where you are being called to. and then you move forward when it feels right to do so, because you're not going to get it wrong. I think you're really tuned in, and that owl spirit supporting you, giving you the strength, the wisdom, the discernment, the clarity to know right from wrong, to know that's not a good decision for me right now. That's not going to support me. And you just have to hold the courage of your convictions with that. And you're not going to miss out on anything. You know, I think, like we said, this is just an indicator of what has been in the past. This is actually a reading that's really rich in possibility, in gain, in security, in knowledge and information and spiritual evolution. Like I really like this for you, Taurus. I really like this for you. So what we're going to do now, this is the general reading that we've given. I go ahead and move into our extended version. And if you'd like to join me for that, we're going to talk for another 20 minutes or so and just explore these themes in a little bit more depth. I would invite you to just focus upon a specific question that might not have come up in the main general reading. And we'll pull a couple of cards for you to look at that just now. If you want to join me for the extended Taurus, you'll find the details in the description box in the comment section underneath. And it's just a way to help support my channel. Incredibly grateful, thank you. Okay, so let's just clarify these main cards right now. So we begin with Temperance, bringing in the Four of Swords. I think that's very linked into this slightly quiet energy as you just take some time for yourself through this month. But we also have this Three of Coins showing up again. So the time out where it's needed, or the adjustments that you're making, are going to be incredibly productive. Yeah. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. You're coming to a point of completion and resolution with something. And I think that's one of the other themes that's going to be playing out strongly in Leo season, is this idea of conflict, but then resolution. Toward the end of the month, we have some really beautiful trines coming in, supportive energies that are going to help give us breakthroughs. But yeah, I think you're going to hit this crossroads. You know, you're transforming, you're rebirthing into something. And there's going to be decisions that come as a result of that. Expansion is inevitable. Blessings are on their way to you. But, you know, there's still some details that need to be ironed out. Some fears being activated here. Again, I've got somebody kind of hot-headed, like looking towards you or wanting something from you that you're just not able to give right now. Okay, Ten of Cups coming through. All the tens coming out in this reading. Okay, I don't do reversed cards, but we'll take this coming out as reversed as quite a powerful sign, because actually Five of Cups reversed is also suggesting to me that, you know, we're just moving away from the losses and we're coming into this time of gain. Really beautiful. Yeah, leaving something behind. Eight of Cups. Here's that conflict sort of drama scenarios that are possibly playing out. I just don't see you wanting to wade in so much though. Knight of Wands, okay. So two Knight of Wands kind of facing each other in this instance. Could well be a fire sign that's important for this season for you, a Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. Okay, another Seven of Cups coming through with a 4 here. Two cards of Strength showing up for you as well. Strength, of course, is linked into the sign of Leo, and it's been showing up a lot in the readings for August. And it's coming through in a very quiet way, you know, a very dignified way of just, you know, almost like that calm after the storm, everything that we've realised through eclipse season, and then how it's changed us, and where we now have these new reserves of emotional strength on which to draw upon to really help us move through, you know, the second part of this year. Oh, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups, nice. Perhaps some new connections coming in for you. We'll explore that in the extended a little bit more. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, another card of Temperance showing up here as well for you. Just a couple more for these oracles. All right, Two of Cups, Knight of Coins, and finally Six of Coins. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if this has resonated, please do drop me your comments, your feedback. I love to hear them and see how it plays out for you this month. If you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to connecting with you there. Take care.